Welcome to the Joystick Show. Dylan's going to start the episode this week.
Woo! Very exciting. Welcome, guys.
I hate to fucking break the magic, but the amount of energy, it literally went from like 0 to about 70 in 2 seconds. It was kind of crazy. We were literally like, oh, yeah. Yo, what's up? It's the show.
Snap.
Episode 60.
Yep.
Kind of nuts.
Big fat 60.
I don't know what those people are called. Sextagenarians or...
Wait, what?
I don't know. People who are in their 60s. You know how like 80-year-olds are octogenarians?
Hexagites? Sounds about right. Yeah.
Sorry for the loud ding. My notifications be like. Welcome to the Joystick Show.
Hell yeah.
Episode 60. Me and Dill. Little solo episode. Not really solo because it's not one person, but you know, it's just a you and me episode.
A quick duet.
Your main hosts.
Yeah.
Joey could not be here today because work, and Jerry could not be here today because because Andy. Shout out to Andy. Andy got married.
Yeah. Shout out.
Well, in the reception, but you know, congratulations, bud.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, now that like I not that I complained about it, but I noticed there was like a few weeks where there was a bunch of weddings, and then I went, oh yeah, no one had weddings for a long time, right?
So super
it's like,
long time.
I can't like get mad at the amount of weddings because I'm like, well, like what are they gonna do? Not have, like they've been waiting like 2 years for this shit. Like,
yeah, exactly. Before we go any further, make sure to go ahead and make sure to go ahead and subscribe and click that bell to stay up to date on notifications for the channel. We're going to be having multiple uploads coming out super soon. If you saw last week's episode, you probably saw the Phase 2 trailer, so stay tuned for that. Phase Do's coming super soon.
It's actually Phase Dos.
Phase Dos.
Yeah, El Phase Dos. Yeah.
Good to know. I'll pronounce it like that from now on.
Yeah.
And other than that, I think that's all the technical YouTube mumbo jumbo out of the way.
A stun locked comment real quick.
What's a stun locked comment?
Like later on I'll tell people.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, we're not there yet. But prep your keyboards. Crack the fingers.
Or like I want people to guess, you know? Like guess what I want them to comment. Like something big, like a chapter will come up that'll be like really interesting, and they're gonna be like, Dylan's gonna ask me to comment that.
Yeah, right. So they should comment both their guess and then their comment.
Yeah,
their
you should have
response
2
to
comments.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking what you been up to, buddy? I haven't seen you in a bit. I don't think I've seen you since the last podcast.
Yeah, it's been a long gap between like 9 days, 8 days, something like that.
This is one of the rare ones that we're filming on a Sunday.
Yeah. Which, by the way, people are really tweaking on Sundays.
What do you mean?
I took the bus here, and there was a lot of like drunk people, no headphones.
On the Lord's Day?
On the Lord's Day, multiple young men doing aerobics.
What?
Yeah, so like you know, like people just like kids or whatever. Like
and this is on the bus.
Yeah, so like they like you like stretch on the bus a little bit, right? Like there's some kids doing like stretching, and then I see another guy also stretching on the bus, and I'm like, there's at least 4 or 5 people on the bus doing full calisthenics. Like it's ridiculous.
For a second, like I know it's not what you meant, but in my head I was picturing these people like, you know, panhandling with their skill set and all this, but you're just telling me these guys are just...
No, like they're like the bus is surprisingly empty, so they're taking this time.
Fuck it.
They're taking this time to exercise. Yeah, a lot of public transportation. I've been going to school a lot lately. Horrible. School just fucking sucks.
How many times do you go in a week? Still one, or
just still once, but it's been lining up where I've had to go in for like review sessions and stuff like that. And really just everyone just decided that this is the worst. I took an in-person test for the first time in 2 years, which is not a vibe.
Those still exist?
Those still exist, by the way, which literally before we started, I was like, this is still a thing? Like literally.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like obviously that still exists, but it's such an old-fashioned statement.
Literally, nobody passed this test. This test that we had, no one passed it. I think that like I kind of want to go in tomorrow just to kind of give them a talking to, because this happened in my summer class where like the professor gives a really hard test, everyone fails it, then there's like some moment that the class shares, right? Like it's like a student calls out the professor calls us idiots, and we're like, hey, it's your fault. You know,
you rise up together, you unite.
Exactly. We benefit each other in order to...
It's a revolution.
Yeah. But together, it's weird. We don't like overthrow the teacher and murder him, right?
Yeah. It's more
and
of
then a court has to step in and be like, whoa.
Oh man.
Yeah, but besides that, a lot of sports going on. Hockey's back.
NBA's almost back. Football's going strong.
Yeah, football. I'm in a football pool. That sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's some extra stress I don't need.
How about those New York teams?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna be surprised if they don't win.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, if they don't win more than like they've only won like one game each. I think. I don't think.
Like they both have like
They
one of the worst losing streaks.
They both have a win. But both of the wins came off of like miracle, like they were once in a lifetime flukes. Like they came back from behind both times and won.
Let's go New York.
Yeah. Besides 1-16.
Yeah.
But I've been playing the new NHL came out. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah. So what Jerry was saying, it's like the first next gen.
Yeah. So there hasn't been
PS5.
a next gen one yet.
Can you notice the differences?
It plays better.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of those games where it's like it always looks the same.
Yeah.
So like graphical advantages, you can only make so many improve. Like it's been a rare time where there's been a jump between games, and I've been like fucking whoa. And even then, every time when they do like a kind of like, for example, from PS3 to PS4, they did a next gen, and it was horrible. Like they took out every mode. It was like an unfinished game. And it took like 3 or 4 years to like get to where it was on old gen. Yeah. Where like in like NHL 18, they were like new thing, and it's like that's not new. We had that in NHL 13, but when you did it, you took it away, right? Yeah. So there's like a lot of glitches and stuff like that. But overall,
just like that NFL game that came out.
Yeah, which they had to literally refund people.
Fucking.
Imagine that back in the day that wasn't a thing. You couldn't do that back in the day.
Yeah,
if you got a game and it was trash.
It was trash. That was it.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, it was funny because like I don't want to go on a tangent about this because I could really quickly, but I'm playing the Kingdom Hearts games. Like I've played these games like 11 times. Yeah. But I'm replaying the first one and the one on PlayStation. You know, the newer consoles. What I'm saying is not the PS2 version, the original. Yeah. It's like a remaster of what they call the final mix version of the game. And what's really interesting just about that is like it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts patched the game. Yeah. So like the first game came out and then they noticed some shit, and then like the year later Kingdom Hearts made a final mix version, but that version only came out in Japan.
And that's the version.
That's the version that got like remastered. So it's cool because like I play a lot of like stuff in the game and I'm like, oh shit, that's not how that is when I played it when I was like fucking 6, 7. It's like really interesting. But like you said, if they wanted to make changes, they had to fucking make a whole new game.
Yeah, they couldn't just patch it in. Yeah. Like, they couldn't just be like, oh, well, that was a mistake.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's even a bigger thing because like that changes competitive games.
For sure, yeah.
Because if you play a competitive game from like
changes
a 90s,
the meta,
changes everything. Because it's like you can't change the thing. It's like that's the game.
Yeah,
that's it. But
and
nowadays,
that's how people have been playing it for this long.
But now you have to adjust, and they could just be like, imagine playing a character for like 3 years, and they're like, oh, you can't use them anymore. Sorry. It's like, yeah, nice, cool.
Oh man.
Yeah, what have you been up to? I haven't, like I said, we haven't talked besides like
playing like a Kingdom Hearts game. Yeah. I mean, what I did want to say, pretty funny. I had this prepped ready to go. So last weekend and this past weekend, I went to my first and second ever house parties in my life, and I'm almost a 25-year-old adult male. So I thought I would touch on that a little bit.
I wanna like, what is your definition of a house? Because I'm like, I've been to mad house parties. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know what I mean?
It was in Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, it was like that. It's like that part of East New York right before it hits Bed-Stuy, so it's still in kind of like Queens Brooklyn threshold.
I know where you are. I know what you're talking about.
So it was a family party.
Okay.
Walk into the front of the house. There's quite like no bullshit, a cloud of marijuana smoke.
Okay.
In the front porch area.
Nice.
My mother comes down like into through the smoke,
which is a bad sign.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like these
she's
these
lit.
Two things.
She's lit.
Okay, amazing.
She's not high, but she's like 3-4 Jello shots in it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Bobby, what's up? Oh my god. She's pointing out people like standing in the front of the house, passing blunts to each other, and she's like, "You knew him when you were like 6." And they're like, amazing. "Yo, what's up?" And I'm like, "What up?" Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's just hysterical to be like, "Hey, here's this man that you knew as a child, and now he is holding this drug."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a funny
In fact, he said something when I was going in. First of all, this guy spoke like a poet. It was like, not like a poet, like an urban poet. Like, so he was like...
I'm imagining Yoda.
No. Like, I don't
Come
know.
in if you must.
Like, he just sounded like everything he was about to say was about to be preceded by the coolest jazz solo you've ever heard in your life type of thing. So he said some shit like, my mom said the thing and she was like, oh, Bobby, this is da-da-da-da. You haven't seen each other since you were kids. And he's like, my apologies, brother, man. I smoke a lot of weed, so excuse me if I do not remember you. He said it just like that. And I was like, no problem, dude. I smoke too. And he was like, then I know to get you for the next blunt, buddy. And I was like, sounds good. And I made him sound like a radio host, but he was a lot more ghetto than that. But in that cadence,
I'm imagining
what I mean?
just like ghetto jazz host.
Yeah, you know
like
what I mean?
like he's introing the band.
Yeah.
Like this next artist.
Yeah, so, we go up the stairs. The party's is like in a second floor apartment. That's that. To put it even closer, the party's in the living room of a second story apartment. No bullshit. Got to be about 50 people crammed into this one room. DJ in the corner. Brought his own hookah. Blasting fucking music. Hispanic music, freestyle music, hip hop all night.
Everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
People are losing their minds. It's insane. And then that was when I realized, like, oh shit, this is the first ever house party I've ever been to. And
I mean, that's high expectations, though.
And what's
for
also
a house
funny
party.
is it was all with like my aunts and uncles and old people. So it was like kind of fucking funny, but it was very much classified as a house party. I know it was.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's like something you almost look forward to. Like, at least I know. It's like when I have if in the future I have a sick ass apartment, I'm waiting for the first house party.
Oh yeah.
That's like the main thing. It's like a thing that you hope for, you know?
Remember my first house party? The one I tried to throw here years ago?
Which house party was here?
The one that ended with me breaking the microwave. Remember that?
Yes.
Can I tell that story?
Yes.
Before I get back to my current house party shenanigans.
God.
I technically did have one house party.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what the hell, like how long ago was this?
Shit.
This was long ago, right?
I want to say we were about 20 or 21.
Okay. 3-4 years ago at least.
No, we were 20.
Okay, 40.
Oh. Yeah, we were 20. I know that because we were 20 because none of us could buy alcohol. We had to go with somebody specifically to go and buy it that night. Because only one of us was 21. So we were 20 years old.
Okay.
I had the house. My parents weren't away. And to preface this, my parents are like uber cool compared to most parents. So they like knew I was throwing a party.
Yeah.
The difference between a party like most people would throw and people like me is my party involves like the 10 people I see most often. It's like you, Joey.
There's no extra fluff usually.
Yeah.
There's usually just like the main people,
their girlfriends,
and then
it's
that's
like,
it.
Pretty much it.
Maybe one extra, two extras, yeah.
So but the plan was to get lit, and lit we got. We had drinks, but then at one point we had to go get more.
Oh, this is the same party.
Yeah.
Oh, like in my head I was thinking that this was a different party.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that one."
So at one point in the night, me, Joey, and it was your ex. We went to the liquor store.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, cool. And then she went in with Joey's ex, and she was like, let us know what you want. And I was just like, get me whiskey. They go in. You call me, and you're like, yo. And I'm like, yo, what's up? What do you need? He's like, no, we're outside. We're looking for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? We're just like 2 blocks away. And you were like, nah, Jose just wanted to go out for a walk.
Yeah.
And you guys are across the street of the gas station. Jose is high out of his fucking mind.
I've never seen Jose Barrios walk that fast.
Yeah.
This man went 4 blocks in a minute.
He needed air ASAP,
he fucking
bro.
sprinted. And we were in the, by the way, everyone that you left at the party could have easily lit the house on fire.
Yeah.
You left people at the house that, including me, that were completely intoxicated.
Jerry was smashed.
Do you remember what Jerry was doing specifically?
I do, and I'll get to it in a second. Before I get to that, your ex came back out and she had Fireball, and I remember being low key like tight because I don't like Fireball that much, but it is whiskey, so I was like, I did ask and I did receive, so we took it. I think you had vodka or whatever when we went back. We opened the door, and another interesting fun fact to point out is we invited a friend of ours and his girlfriend who were not really the drinking or smoking type.
Not the
all.
party type, I would say.
Yeah. So we opened the door, and that couple is playing a board game, like just each other. Jerry is on the couch smashed out of his fucking mind
Laying
playing
down.
a free Frozen Disney puzzle game on
Yes.
PS3
Which
and
he-
having the time of his fucking life.
He did not lose a life. He did not lose a level.
Bro.
By the way, he fucking beat every level.
And every time he would be like Tom Cruising it, bro, like, yeah, like fucking smiling ear to ear. Is hilarious. But we had the fireball, and I remember everybody wanted to take shots. And I made a very stupid decision that when anybody wanted a shot, I pour them one, and I take a swig from the bottle.
Yeah.
And I kept doing that all throughout the night until I looked down, and the bottle was like a third left.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, I drank
a lot.
like a good maybe 40%
Half of the
this
bottle.
bottle
Yeah.
by myself.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I remember about that night was we got together to watch Moana because that's how incredible of a party it was.
Yeah.
And we all just kind of like naturally started to like die on the couch. And then I'll never forget, one by one, Jose just started taking people and dropping them off home. And people lived far too. Like Jose was like making it like a 3-hour thing just to get everybody fucking home. And then finally, I'll never forget, it was me, Joey, and Joey's ex. And we were just hanging out in my house. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go make a fucking Hot Pocket in the microwave. So I open the microwave, and I'm drunk out of my mind. I can't even see straight. I put the Hot Pocket in, I close it, and then I lean on the microwave, and the microwave tilts down, and the plate with the spinner of the microwave come out and just break on the floor. And I'm like, oh, shit, oh, shit. And then I go and I get the pieces to put them in the sink. Then I get to the sink, and I throw up in the sink. Yeah. And then at that point, I was like, oh.
You're not the best.
Yeah.
After throwing up, holding shards of glass in your hand. Sitting there just.
So I throw up like on the shards of glass into the
yeah.
sink. And then at that point, I'm like, I should get to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, I sit down on the toilet, and then I throw up in the bathtub. And I'll never forget, I get a knock on the door, and it's Joey. And he's like, you okay, Bob? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, we're going to head out. Hope you feel better. And I was like, thanks, no problem. And he leaves, and my parents come in, and I'll never fucking forget. My dad thought it was the funniest fucking thing. My mom did not at all. My mom low-key didn't talk to me for like a full day after that.
Broke the microwave.
And then the funnier thing, and I feel bad because, like, you know, she had to clean it up and all that shit. But like the next day, I was hungover out of my mind. Like I was fetal position, sweating bullets, the Gatorade by my bed. Like it was bad. And I remember like she wouldn't take care of me low-key. Perfectly fine. I've learned my lessons since then. But finally, like, she went to the casino, and then she comes back at like 6, 7 at night. She's like, I hope you learned your lesson. I'm like, I did. And she's like, all right, here's some soup. And I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it. So yeah, I learned that was actually one of the last times I've ever been like hammered drunk. I was thinking about that the other day. It's literally only
that
been
night was so. I don't know how I remember all of that though. Like my brain, like I know you remember it for sure because you fucking.
Well, the thing is everything I told you was when I was not drunk or when I was not ending my drunk rant. Like I don't remember anything in that 2-hour period between fucking when we got back to my house and fucking when I broke the microwave.
Yeah, it's pretty sloppy, man. It's just Moana and fucking melting. Honestly.
Hey, man, that's how that movie gets me.
Shout outs to the 20-year-olds drinking. Yeah.
That's why I smoke now.
Yeah, drinking is not the like. I want to give a quick public service announcement.
I want to give this public service announcement too.
Because to everyone that goes to the bar and drinks and gets like 8 drinks, your wallet is not only mad, but your brain is also just like.
No, you're gonna wake up tomorrow feeling like shit, bro.
It's the whole next day, like like anything that makes you feel shitty the next day, and also arguably during.
Yeah.
Not a vibe.
Yeah. So, needless to say, I don't drink. I don't drink. Like I usually do that spiel where I'm like, I don't drink, but like in this situation, but the honest situation is like I'd never drink to get drunk, and it's always just like one casual drink, most likely because I actually want to taste it and because I want to like try it.
But it's not,
I mean?
But it's like that's your drink, and even then you're eating of the drink, whatever.
For sure. Even like it was funny. I went to a party, it wasn't like a house party like that. It was a barbecue the day after that, but they had this rum punch that was really strong, and I wasn't even drinking it on my own. I was sharing it with my girlfriend's friend. Like we were sharing a cup, and then every time that she was done sipping it, she passed it to me, and I'd sip it. And we did like 3 cups like that, and I didn't even think about it. But at the end of the 3rd cup, I had put it down, vertigo, and I was like, I am fucked up. Like
that is the worst one.
Super snuck up on me.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn. But I did like the one voice in your head thing, like get up, go pour yourself some water, go put a fucking taco in your body,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And then sure enough, like 20 minutes later, good, back to go, didn't drink again. So I'm glad that I'm like at that point where like I kind of know how my body works, or I could be like, all right, it's time to fucking change gears here. You need to be up fucking tomorrow. No, but
that voice in your head's crazy.
No, we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of stuff to talk about in this category. But going back to that first house party that I was mentioning, I smoke. Yeah. It's not something I'm really scared to say because I just do it often. In fact, my dad does too. It's kind of like the common thing here. We've even toyed around doing like special bonus episodes of The Chef's Son with edibles. And doing like, but I talked to Dylan. I was like, that's some Patreon exclusive shit.
Yeah, which hey guys, I mean, check that shit out.
Wait till we get that shit going.
What's the edible recipe? What do you make?
I want to do brownies.
Yeah,
classic. Keep it steady. You know what I mean? I've never done them before either, so I think that's a really good
make a little blondies for me too. The little
are those like the vanilla brownies? Yeah. I don't like those.
They're good though. Ugh. They're good homemade though, because it's basically just like a thick cookie.
Yeah, I just don't like non-chocolate pastries all that much. But regardless. I smoke, my dad smokes, my cousin smokes, and my uncle smokes, his dad. So it's kind of like we're like a quartet of just
they show up to the party,
and they're there, So I'll never forget. It was funny when I showed up to the party. My cousin shot me this look, and he's like, and I was like, yes. So we go out, we do the thing, we come back in, and then I had another one ready, so I give him the look, and I'm like, you ready to go? Yeah. We go down, fucking 2 seconds later, my dad, my two uncles come down. They're like, this is where y'all motherfuckers hanging out. Mad people start coming down. My girlfriend, my mom, not everybody's doing it, but just people are coming up and down and sharing. Next thing I know, we're downstairs for about 45 minutes hanging out on the porch of this house. Okay. For about 30 minutes, there is a group of at least 10 people in front of this house, and they all brought at least one joint.
So this is the circle.
So there's just a fest going on, bro.
Just the cloud of ghosts rolling down the street.
Bro, it's getting past, and like, people are dropping like flies. I'm good, bro. Yeah. I can't. I said yes to every single
of course, you sit through all of it. You sit through all of it.
It was less because I'm confident in my abilities to handle it, and more because I wanted to push myself stupidly to see how fucking far this shit goes. It's not often you have 9 people all handing you joints. Like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, and that's also, you got some cross stream also, because everyone brought their own and they all have different stuff. Yeah.
So it's getting to the point where like people know that I'll finish it, so they're just handing me roaches, and I'm like throwing them shits out or whatever. Dude, after 35 minutes of continuous smoking, I could not see through my own eyes. I was having a good time. I didn't feel sick or anything.
Did you get back upstairs?
I did. Bro, the music is just like in my fucking ear. And I'm just like this, bro. I can't even I can just seeing like the blurs
just
of
keep
faces.
Them closed.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And
I'm just like, I'm tired as fuck. So I'll never forget, like, I got home and I crashed at like 12:40, which is stupid early for me. But bro, I just could not stay awake at that point. I literally like smoked myself into a coma. I just thought that was hilarious.
Amazing. Yeah, that happens to me all the time too. Or that'll happen especially after a party like that, and then you're like, why am I so tired?
Oh yeah, I've been fucking
sleepy.
I'm intoxicated, and I've been dancing and shit for like fucking 3-4 hours.
Like, yeah.
And then this past weekend, I had another house party at a friend's house that I didn't drink at all because again, very similar to the rum punch story earlier. I had 2 Jello shots, but I ate no dinner. So they went straight to my stomach, and I was like, I wasn't drunk, but I was like, I don't feel good. And whenever that happens, it's a pretty early indicator. Leave the drinks behind. You brought your blunt, go outside, take a walk. Nice, cool 70-degree day out. So I'll never forget, after I got tipsy from that, I was kind of like shaky, so I was like, let me go outside, let me get some air. So I go and I sit down on the stairs of the house, probably there for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes go by, there's a pump in front of the house, and a car drives up and stops, and the windows go down, and I see a head like lean over from the driver's side, and he's like, yo, is this 2020? I don't know what the address is, right? 2022? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. He's like, and he looks up, and same thing as the other party, music, fucking everybody screaming their heads off. He's like, sounds like there's a hell of a lot of people up there, and I got a hell of a lot of food. And I was like, I looked at the address on the phone, I was like, yeah, this is it. And he's like, all right, cool. He looks at me and he goes, You light up?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." My man comes out of the car smoking a fat ass blunt.
In the car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Puts the pizza down, just hands it to me, and we fucking siped for like 3 minutes, and we talked about food delivery and pizza. And then after those 3 minutes, he was like, "It was cool meeting you, dog," and I was like, "It's cool meeting you too." And we dapped it, and I brought 4 pies of pizza upstairs, and the party treated me like a fucking king. They were like, "Ah, the pizza."
You're like, "Ah!"
Meanwhile, I'm like, "I just had a cool ass conversation with a stranger."
Yeah.
Like,
You go back down. You think you work for the pizza
yeah,
company.
right. I'm not gonna lie, it was funny you say that because I didn't eat pizza initially. Like I was still kind of like I needed air, especially after the smoking. So I brought the pizza up and I got water and I went back down and I was low-key kind of bummed out that the car wasn't there anymore. I was like, "Oh, I don't have a friend." Yeah, I was like, there he went. I didn't even order the food. I don't know what your name is. You know what I mean? So I was like, but to whoever you are, buddy, your kindness is appreciated.
Hell yeah. And he was like, "Hey, this they paid a lot of money for this food, right?"
Right? It was like
let's
an
reward
extra
this guy."
experience.
And also, they thought like you paid for the food, and
That pizza looked gourmet as fuck too. I was expecting it to just be like 4 regular ass pies. I had like the margarita slices with all the finely cut. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is like
margarita slices are so fucking
gourmet
good, bro.
pizza. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Also, I just like that pizza is kind of like the natural party kind of like alcohol absorbent. You know what I mean? Like, oh, everybody's fucked up, just get a pizza. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
It's you're right. It does soak it up a little.
it's just
bit.
like everybody's eating pizza. Every time I like go out with friends that like drink, keep in mind I'm like one of the ones that's not fucked up. They always go to some like $2 pizza spot and they're like, oh,
yeah.
like drunk as hell too. They're like, we just need this. And I'm
And
like,
they're
"All right,
just
guys."
downing it like
That
all right.
or a deli sandwich. Either way, both are very bready and
Yeah, true.
that's the
True.
point.
I mean, I feel like every appetizer should just be like bread in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, some garlic bread maybe.
I don't know if I feel like the garlic would upset me. It's like too pungent almost. It's like, you know, when you're really drunk, you don't even want to like smell anything.
Yeah,
It's
true.
like,
You don't want like anything like rich or anything
yeah,
either.
you just want something that you could down real quick.
It's
Yeah.
okay. What fucking food?
Bro, did you hear about? It's weird because so it's weird because I feel like I told you all of this that I just said, but it's
Yeah.
because me and the guys hung out a few days ago, and you were actually the only one that wasn't there. So
Mhm.
it felt weird because I feel like I've told you a bunch of these stories, but in actuality, it's because I told Joey, Jerry, and Jose.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
But we went to the Verrazano. We were just hanging out, and I was telling them about this story in the news that I heard, and I wanted to see if you had heard about it.
All right.
Did you hear about the man from London who was living in Dubai and got caught with a CBD pen in his car?
No, but I know he was facing a lot of.
Like 14 years.
Yeah, he
maybe
was facing-
25. It's one of those two, but it's a lot of years in prison, and
Mhm.
it's a fucking crazy story.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy, I don't really remember his name. I think it's Michael something. He was a football coach. That's soccer football.
Yes.
I don't know if it's London, but England, the UK for sure. And apparently, I think he's 25. That might be where I'm getting the 25 from. But he has been
He's young.
Yeah. He's been a football coach for a very long time. And in fact, I think he moved to Dubai to continue those pursuits. And he had been living there for like a year-ish, something like
Okay.
that. He was walking to his car that was parked outside of like a friend's house. And that's when Dubai police like flashed them with flashlights, and they were like, you know, get your hands out of the car. I was like, okay, he complied. And then they searched his vehicle and found a CBD pen with CBD oil attached to it.
Okay.
They arrested him, and you know they charged him and all that shit, and they kept him in like a holding facility for like 5 days or something like that with like bread and water. And apparently they were like beating him.
Yeah, prison in other countries.
Yeah.
Is like, you really, when you visit, like, I don't really visit other countries,
Yeah.
but when you visit other countries, you really got to be careful
Oh
with stuff
fuck
like that.
yeah, it's
Like
terrifying.
there's I forgot the name, but like a travel encyclopedia, and it's my favorite website to check out because when you look, it'll actually show you like warning signs of like if you visit a place, like hey, boom, like don't go here, you'll get fucked, and it's something like that. In Dubai, it's like hey, don't bring drugs.
Yeah.
And Singapore is really big on that. Like you could get like the death penalty
Crazy.
for drugs.
And and they were like beating him in custody and all this shit, and they were trying to make him sign a document that was like in Arabic. And they were basically like, if you sign it, the beating stops, you know what I mean? But he's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm signing, low-key. So it's like this whole crazy legal thing that's happening between like his family and his representation from like England, but obviously it's like overseas in Dubai, so it's fucking insane. And the craziest thing about it is the CBD pen isn't even his. Yeah, it was a friend's that left it in his car.
Wow, that's bad luck. That's a bad friend.
Crazy, right?
It's a real bad friend.
And apparently, due to like his athletic lifestyle, like he basically was like, I really try my best not to drink or partake in anything like that. So it's fucking insane. Like, just a little misunderstanding can turn into something so fucking detrimental. An international
law dispute.
Yeah, and now his family's like genuinely like concerned that he's gonna be stuck in prison over there for like 14 fucking years. In those cases, they can't get like transferred or anything like that. It's just under
it depends. The country would have to step in, and like the embassy would have to come in and do something about it. Because like if you think about it, it's you wouldn't get flown back to America to get tried for that crime because that's not a crime here.
Yeah.
So they're gonna want to try him for that crime here. He would have to somehow get over into America.
I read another thing like that, like a couple months back, where like, I think it was an American, but point is, it was like a non-Arab tourist was visiting Dubai again, and I think what happened is like the first or second day that he was there, he got sick. So he had to go to the hospital, and his lab work showed that he had THC in his system. Granted, it was from like before he even got on the plane.
That can be up to 90 days.
Exactly. So. And he still got arrested for that. And it was like a whole fucking big thing. He was like, bro, I haven't done it in like a week. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's fucking insane. It's so strict. Legalize.
And also, I feel like a lot of times it's weird that they will even deal with tourists. It seems like a lot of money to waste,
right? But I mean, like, if we're being real, Dubai looks like they have the money to waste.
Dubai built islands that are sinking. Like, they built an island and now the water level's rising, and it's like, oh, the island is like not good, we're gonna have to like add to the island. It's like, damn, you guys really wasted this money.
Fuck.
But yeah, it seems like you wouldn't want to, like, if I was a cop in like the Philippines and someone would die if they had weed on them, I'd see the weed and be like, I'll help you out.
Even at the most, just like, I'd be like, put that away. And if anything, it's more so for their sake, because like, it's like,
now you're actually helping them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, granted, I'd never be a cop, but
that's correct.
And I'd never be a Filipino cop.
I'd never be a cop in an international place. No, if I was a cop in the UAE.
United Arab Emirates.
Wow. UAE is just a weird fucking country. Fuck them, bro.
So
they're mad weird.
Yeah.
Only 12% of the country is citizens.
Really?
The rest are Emirates. The rest are people who like Emiratis, they call them. They're like, they work there and
crazy
stuff like that.
Whatchamacallit. It's like aren't like all the most famous countries like literally right there? I mean, not most like richest countries, they're all like grouped up as like that, Oman and
that, and Saudi Arabia are very rich.
Yeah.
And Oman back in the day used to be really rich because they used to have an empire that went down Africa.
That's all oil, right?
Saudi Arabia and UAE, yeah, that's all oil money. That's why they have so much money.
Yeah,
because they just fucking.
Man, it must be hype to just like buy a house on an oil reserve.
Yeah.
Like, oh, lit.
It's here now. But like, imagine that luck though, because like 150 years ago, that wasn't a thing. We didn't know that existed,
and we didn't need it that much.
So the fact that like they just chose that land, that like, oh, this whole area, this is ours. They win that war, they get that land, and then they're just like, we got fucking oil, bro.
Let's fucking go. I
That
forgot
whole
we get
area.
resources
and,
too.
and like UK and France, who literally just left there like 40 years ago, they're like, fuck, man. They're like, damn, bro.
Damn it.
I was just there. I didn't know.
All we have is bread and cheese.
And rocks. And rain, yeah.
Bro, I don't know why rocks, and you said something earlier. Oh, you said Dubai building islands.
Yeah.
I don't know why that reminded me. There used to be this fucking Corona commercial where there was like a guy on a boat who like throws a rock into the water,
Yeah.
and he just starts throwing a bunch of rocks until the rocks pile up and create an island.
Mhm.
And then he just like has a dance party on the island, and I guess the whole like idea of it is like he built a man-made island, and he has like a whole DJ set up, and then the beers come out, and it's like Corona, you know, like make life a party or some shit like that.
He made an island.
Yeah, but I remember just watching that as a kid and being like, holy fucking shit, this guy built an island. And I went to my dad and I was like, Dad, can you do that? And he was like, nah. And I was like, fuck. Like I thought that was a real thing.
And then you found out that it's like, I mean, with dirt you can.
I mean, like, look, he was just throwing rocks.
That's how New York actually built a lot of like their islands, like Ellis
Mhm.
Island. They took the like from the tunnels and the train system.
Let's put it over here.
Yeah, and there was like, let's put an island.
Oh, I got some fucking little geography fact to
Yeah?
share with you. You would have loved it. No, fucking, we hung out when we were hanging out. Me and the guys, we went to Owl's Head Park. That park.
Yeah, I know that
in
one.
Verrazano.
Hell yeah.
And next to it, there's like this pier where you can like walk it.
I know
you
the
see,
pier.
You see like everything. You see Jersey, New York. So we're at the pier, and I remember the last time me and Jose went there, maybe about 3 or 4 months ago. I wasn't familiar where we were like in Brooklyn, so like I went on Google Maps to like see it on a map, and it showed that like between where we were and the view of like Manhattan we were looking at, there was the Statue of Liberty. It says it like on the Google Maps thing. So I remember we were like, where the fuck is it? And we literally spent like 5 minutes like just looking in front of us until finally we were like, oh, it's that green fucking thing right there, like mad small. But you know, you can see it and it's cool. So when we went this past week, we were standing there again, and I was like, I wonder what like this area of water is called. Like I didn't really know. And apparently it's called like the Upper Bay or the Lower Bay or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it, and it's actually like the right there where we're looking at is on the Google Maps. It says that that's the exact point where the East River and the Hudson River intersect.
Yes.
And they like connect.
You can see it.
And we see it on the map, and we were like, oh shit, that's cool. And then we look up, and you can physically see it.
You can.
Like, you
Yes.
literally see the island of Manhattan, and then you just see the Hudson River and the East River coming down this way. And I was like, holy shit,
Because
that's
it's
fucking
two
insane.
different. Because they're not rivers either.
Yeah.
They're both estuaries, so they have their own tide. So that's why they can like even come. Sometimes they'll even like have waves crash over each other.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just cool that you're like able to see it. Like it's one thing to see it on a map.
I noticed it last time I was there, not there specifically, but in Brooklyn. You can actually see it because by one of the bridges, there's like lighting. So like when the lighting shines down, you can see like the gap between the two. It's like interesting.
That's dope. Yeah.
Love that
I have
shit.
a picture of Jose holding the Statue of Liberty. I'll put it up. There it is. It's real great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Statue.
He's
of Liberty.
actually holding it. Very strong, that man.
Man, it must have looked weird back when it wasn't that fucking color.
Yeah, right. It was like rust or like brown.
Yeah, it was
bronzish.
copper, so it was just whatever kind. Yeah, like that bronzish color. Be like, damn, bro.
Yeah, you want a little trivia question for you? Pull out your nostrils. Fucking, how many statues of Liberty are there?
2.
There's 3.
I didn't know. Actually,
Yeah.
I didn't know about the.
There's the one in New York.
Mm-hmm.
There's the National Treasure one that Nicolas Cage goes to in the National Treasure sequel, Book of Secrets. Yeah. That one is in France.
Yeah, that's
I think it's
Eiffel.
like right by the Eiffel Tower.
Because it's the guy, same guy.
And then the third one is in the Luxembourg Gardens. Not sure where that is, but
It's in the country of Luxembourg.
there you go.
You know what the capital of Luxembourg is?
Luxembourg City. Is it really?
Yeah. They
Let's
also known as Luxembourg.
I was gonna say L. My favorite dad joke.
Back in the day, I used to, honest mistake. I used to mix up Luxembourg and Liechtenstein. Huge
classic.
mistake. Classic.
Just a
mistake.
fucking classic.
We
mistake.
all make it.
Yep, all been there,
all
buddy.
All make it.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, Liechtenstein is a country for those who are wondering. No one gives a fuck.
Where is it?
I can't.
My gut tells me it's like near Germany.
Yeah, it's like near like Germany, Switzerland, that whole area. Yeah. Europe is also crazy too. Like I remember back before I got into geography, I would take like Sporkle quizzes, and I'd just like it'd be like the countries of Europe, and you start getting near some of these countries, and you're like, I mean, I guess Moldova. I guess you're a country.
I know. What was it?
Fucking Montenegro. Like,
I don't even remember specifically what the question was, but I was watching Ludwig's game show, Mogul Money, and it was asking a question about like a small country, And like anytime you hear small country, you think like Vatican City or some shit like that. But apparently there's like not an even smaller city or country, but there's like a country like that small that it's like or it's like landlocked in between other countries or something like that. I forgot what it is, but I think it's in Africa. And it's literally
Lesotho?
maybe.
Yeah.
But point is, it's like a little tiny little fucking circle, and that's like a country.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of a? Shit, man! I watched a documentary on it. It was actually pretty cool. There's like I think it's somewhere in Europe. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But there's like these huge, like, I don't even know what to call them. They're like structures that come out of the water, like almost like an oil rig, but they're not oil rigs. They're like. The point, they were used for wartime, so I don't know if they were like to house soldiers or to land planes or whatever, but point is there's these like large structures, and one of them was like sold to like this guy who,
I know about this,
and it's technically like its own
he
private
tried
land.
He tried making it his own country.
Yeah,
I know about
and
this
even
guy.
I don't think it is, but it's still technically like its own like uncharted thing.
Yeah, it's like, and then like a country like didn't claim it. They had this in the military there. I remember.
It's literally like a house just on top of this fucking thing, and that's
they had to send the military because he was claiming it was not part of the country, and they were like, "Bro, this is eating away at our exclusive economic zone." You know,
shout outs to Pretoria.
Yeah,
the best man-made country.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure all countries are man-made, but
you know, France has the largest empire in the world.
Like right now. Trying to think, like, you know, France, parts of Canada, parts of Haiti. What else?
Well, I mean, they own like half those islands, like
true.
like in the Caribbean. They own a lot of those, like Martinique and stuff. There's French Guyana. There's Reunion Island.
Very true.
All of those islands, by the way.
New Orleans.
Yeah. It's weird how we don't like imagine if we had to pronounce all of the French cities and towns by the French name.
Yeah, right.
That'd be crazy. Oh, Orléans. It's like we fucking sounded so dumb. No, but what was I talking? What was I?
French Empire.
Yes. So they have the largest like maritime zone because they own all the islands.
Oh yeah.
So all of the water, they own all of the water also, and they also own French Polynesia too. Yeah.
Who's like second up?
I don't know, probably like UK or something. America,
true.
also, I would say, has a ton of territories, like just in the middle of nowhere, like American Samoa and stuff like that. But I found it really interesting because, in America, we're like, fuck you, right? We don't care about these countries, right? We're like, Puerto Rico's been trying to become a country for years. Yeah. In France, you're part of France.
Yeah.
So it's like in French Guyana in South America, they use the euro. Like it's like it's French.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
It's Europe.
Yeah.
It's just not on Europe.
It's just not on the continent whatsoever.
And you can move there. So it's like there's a so like there's a bunch of French people that are like rich and they just move to like Bora Bora and they're like, "Oh, I just live here." And it's like you could live there and it's like you move,
That's actually fucking
So it's sick. Like if I was born in France and someone was like, "Yeah, you want to live in fucking Paris?" It's like, "No."
What ocean is Bora Bora in?
Pacific.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that or the Indian.
It's an atoll. Like the coral reef ones. Yeah.
Place is fucking beautiful. I wanted to go there once when I was younger.
Hell yeah, you gotta go there soon.
Why, is there something happening?
Yeah, all the islands are gonna be gone, bro.
Oh, like underwater?
Mm-hmm. Like 50 years.
Cool.
You got time.
I thought you meant like, I thought someone was gonna blow up Bora Bora or something.
The world's best magician shows up.
Watch.
Guess you could say they're no Mora Mora.
That was good. I like that one. I can't get mad at you.
Or should it be no Mora no more?
I think you covered it with the one no.
With the one no.
I think it's severely less funny with two no's. Oh man. Damn, there was something else I wanted to say. I wanted to say something. Oh, I was gonna talk about DC Fandome. I know you don't really like superhero stuff, but that's kind of my half of this whole shindig. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to talk about like the event in general. I thought it was really cool. Do you know what DC Fandome is?
I have no idea what this is.
DC Fandome is kind of like an online... The best way I could describe it is it's like a Nintendo Direct or like a PlayStation exclusive, but it's all of the projects that DC's working on. But what's cool is since DC is such a major entertainment company that, obviously people are excited to check out the movies that are coming out, like the Batman and
Mhm.
Flash and all that stuff. But it's also really exciting to check out like DC animated shows, DC TV shows, DC video games
Interesting.
coming out, and even the comic stories that are coming out. It's like really cool. So the whole event in general was dope in the sense that it was pretty interactive. They showed so much stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, it would be insane if I could actually sit here and go through everything in depth, but just to give like a quick run through, movie wise, Aquaman 2, Black Adam starring The Rock, Shazam 2, The Batman, of an animated film called League of Super Pets starring The Rock and Kevin Hart as Crypto the Super Dog and Ace the Bat Hound.
I like that, yeah.
John Krasinski's also in it. They revealed like the cast list, but they didn't say like who they're playing yet. They have to wait for like the new trailer.
Interesting.
I'm probably missing one, but they showed like a bunch of movie stuff. Then they showed a bunch of like video game stuff. There's like a new, it's kind of weird, but there's like a new Batman game coming out called Gotham Knights, where you get to play as like Robin and Nightwing and the Proteges. But what's weird is there's another game coming out called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And you know the Arkham games?
Yeah.
The Suicide Squad game takes place in the Arkham universe.
Okay.
So
it's
not the
just-
Batman game.
The Batman game's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like apparently it takes some of the same like combat stuff or whatever, but like it was cool watching the Suicide Squad trailer because you actually see like the Penguin from the Batman Arkham games in a new game, and you're like, oh shit! It was like, because for someone who loves those games, it was like, oh, it's actually like in the world, like they're doing stuff with it. But it looks cool. It's like a game where you play as the Suicide Squad, and as the trailer or as the title suggests, you have to kill the Justice League.
I like how they tell you what to do.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they hate to pick up the game. Oh no.
What do I do now? They showed what I thought was cool was I'm a big fan of Young Justice. It's an animated show that DC does. It's gone through it's in its 4th season, and the show is over 10 years old.
Yeah.
Because it's been like canceled and rebooted like 3 times now at this point.
It's like hey, rich guy, someone fund this shit.
Yeah, but what's kind of funny is the show is that good that after all this time, the show still gets picked up because it's just like people love the characters, they love the story, and they just want it to further. But what was cool is, all the fans were kind of speculating that they would touch upon it at DC Fandome, and they were like, let's talk about Young Justice. And I was like, fuck yeah. And then not only did they talk about it and show a trailer, they were like, oh, by the way, the show's out. Like now, it's streaming right now. Go check it out. And I was like, oh shit. It was like a really cool. So right after it ended, I was like back into Young Justice, like super tight. The whole event was pretty cool, but the last thing I wanted to say is it was about the corniest fucking thing I've seen in my life. Yeah.
The whole thing, or
the whole thing.
Okay, I feel like you should have started with that.
I was leaving it for some fun at the end.
No, because when I first heard about it, like when you said it, my first thought was like we talked about. There's some
the E3 thing,
horrible E3.
Yeah.
Fucking just bad vibes overall.
So like just to put some, the funny thing is like it was really clear whenever like a cringe moment would happen.
Oh,
so as soon as you like see it, the first thing I would do is like go on my phone and see like the YouTube chat because it's like a live stream, and the whole chat is just like, what the fuck is this? Cringe! Oh my god! And it's like, okay, it's not just me, but like Flula Borg.
No.
He's an actor. I really don't know too much he's been in, but he's a German guy. He has
can
really.
Can we look him up?
Yeah, he has like
that name sounds made up, bro.
It does.
Flula Borg.
Yeah, he has a really thick German accent. He talks like this. Like, okay, that was a bad German accent. Yeah, this guy. I don't really know him from any stuff.
Made up guy.
But he has a super thick German accent. He's like, hi, my name is Flula Borg. And he does like talk show stuff.
Yeah.
But he was in the Suicide Squad with James Gunn, and or James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So they opened the Fandome with like him not hosting it, but like essentially they got like little celebrities to host little partitions of the show.
I know that. And I get what they're going
So he was on screen for like a good half hour, but all of his jokes were just like, you couldn't even get mad because he told it with like this confidence that like he knew it was funny, but you were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
At least he has the German accent, so like it sounds good, but like everything he'd be like, oh, Superman, I think I could play a good Superman. If they could like every single thing was a joke. It was like, oh my god.
Like, jeez, man, can we just fucking sit here and watch the thing?
Then they showed this. They have a bunch of animated stuff that they're working on, and honestly, like only one or two things are. I don't want to say cool, but for adults because they're working on a lot of stuff for kids, obviously, like cartooning for children.
I would love to see the guy that's like way too excited for that. That's like, ah! Like, just like loving it, and it's like baby Batman, fucking baby Batman.
I'll get to something like that in a second, but no, they did this one thing where they make where they're making or they made. I don't know if it came out yet, but they showed it at Fandome. It's like a 3-part animated series of Aquaman. But it's animated in like a very modern, cartoonish way. Think like the new Powerpuff Girls Adventure Time, that kind of like Steven Universe, that bright type. But you know what I mean? It doesn't look actiony at all. In fact, it's meant to look like very cartoonish.
Okay.
Like I'll show you. But what was interesting about it is like the comedy aspects of it were pretty interesting when the trailer started. But I knew in the back of my head that people in the chat were probably like, "This is cringe," you know. This is terrible. And I was like, it's not too bad. It's kind of, I like when they put cool spins on like characters and they don't make them too serious. You see, he looks like this.
Yeah.
Really cartoony. But then the trailer ends with Aquaman doing a fish song / rap. Where he's like, I could talk to all the fishes, talk to you, fish, fish, fish. And then I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
They try to make Aquaman out of any superhero to make rap.
Yeah.
You make
and
Aquaman.
Then it was more of a song, but then at the end of it, like the trailer ends, and sure enough, I went to the comments and everybody's like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then like the trailer comes back and the guy, I don't know if it was Flula, but somebody was just like, did you love that song? It's already on Spotify. Make sure to download. I was like, nobody's fucking downloading that song, pal. Like, nobody.
I get the idea of like you're trying to generate hype. This is the main marketing hype event for whatever you're doing. This is the hugest thing of your life. But it's not that exciting.
Yeah.
Nothing like E3, people are coming in with like 11 out of 10 energy. Your thing isn't that exciting. It's
not even in person.
Yeah. And also, even people, they're usually looking for like 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
You think people care?
Oh, that was like the whole, everybody in the chat, like literally 50% of the people were like, just show me the Batman trailer. Yeah. Which was literally like, the last thing they showed because they're smart.
Everyone just doing that. It's just like, imagine, like, get excited over the song for the fish song that Aquaman did, and now I'm supposed to be happy.
Yeah.
Cause it's on spot. Like the trailer ended, and I was like, man, I'm never gonna be able to hear the fish song by Aquaman ever again.
I'll have to watch the entire episode up until that point.
I had to screen record my entire computer just to watch the fish rap.
And the last thing, what I was mentioning before, the baby thing, they are working on like a Marvel show, not a Marvel show, a DC show for preschoolers. And it's called...
it's real.
Yep, I think it's called DC Batwheels. And are you ready for this?
I'm imagining they're all in wheelchairs.
No. No, unfortunately. That'd be hilarious. But no, it was it's essentially just cars. Like Batman and Robin are cars. Like,
but it's
like Batman is the Batmobile, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that.
And like apparently all the other like characters and villains are just gonna be like cars essentially.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and the theme song is like super hype, but you could tell like it's for children because it's like Batwheels.
I mean, it makes. I mean, cars are cool. Kids like cars. Like, yeah, it's awesome.
Batman's cool. Kids like Batman. 1 and 1.
I think they could have made it like, I don't know.
But that's what I wanted to touch on DC Fandome.
Are there any trucks or is it just cars?
They said more to come. They only showed Batman and Robin.
I wonder what other type of. I wonder if there will be any maritime vehicles.
I bet Aquaman's a boat.
He better be a fucking submarine. That piece of shit. Look at that. Imagine he's like.
Oh, he should be because it's above land. And yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. He should technically be a car boat.
Yeah.
So you can drive right into. You ever seen those like old school fucking? It's like an old spy fucking. I don't know if it's real, but I saw it in a video. It's like a car that you drive literally from like off land, and then you like drive it into a lake, and it just fucking floats. It's a boat. Oh, I read a thing. last thing, because it jumped in my head when I said that boat thing.
I read something.
I did. I read something, guys. No, I fucking hate clickbaity shit, because then you have to click it and you have to read it. But it was
and
one
it's
of
never
those.
worth it.
It was one of those like top 10 times tops. One of those things. It was like top 5 people who died to their own inventions.
Wow.
So it was like pretty interesting.
I mean, we know. I mean, I feel like I know all you know about them, right? Like the Segway guy and a couple of others. Like there's a lot of.
Well, they actually didn't bring up the Segway guy. I know about that one.
Interesting.
But no, there was definitely one that I read and I was like, yeah, of course. I forgot what it was. There was like one of a really old ancient Chinese emperor who was like a bad, not bad, but like he was looked upon as like a more aggressive, brutal emperor. So he made the 5 pains, which is like this really brutal, basically death sentence where you have to endure like 5 pains. I think it starts with like they fucking brand your head, then they cut off your nose.
Jesus Christ.
They cut off either your foot or your hand. Then they castrate you, and then finally they cut you in half at the waist.
Yeah.
So 5 pains, and then apparently like.
Can you survive them all? You
collect them all.
No, legit. You meet one half of a man, and he's just like, I survived.
I survived that shit.
I survived that shit.
Fucking whatchamacallit? No, apparently he like did something where he tried to like extend his rule for longer, and he like got in trouble for it, and he died at the 5 pains, which is like his own like thing. But the thing I was gonna bring up before I got into that was one of the inventions was like a group of people who tried to build a car plane. So the idea was that it's a car, and spoiler alert, they died testing it out, but it was a car that you literally like, it has wings on it.
Yeah.
And you just like, you drive it to an airport where they suit it up to like, fly. And then the idea is like they fix the wings, they set it up, they put the fuel in, and then you just take off. And then when you get to your destination, you take all the shit off and you still have a car that you could just drive out from the airport. And needless to say, that shit failed hard.
Oh, I mean, it sounds like it would fail. Yeah. Was the inventor of the cornballer on that list?
I don't know. Definitely not. I would have remembered that.
Do you know about that?
No. Did he die to the cornballer?
It's the invention from the show Arrested Development.
Oh, okay.
The father was known for the uncle invented a machine that made a perfectly round cornball. And it was like it was like a deep fryer. But like there was no heat protection from the outside, so like people would just lean on it and burn themselves. Like that's why the product failed, because everyone permanently damaged their hand.
Wow. There was another one of this guy who tried to build a parachute suit, not just a parachute, like a
parachute.
Parachute. The idea was that like pilots could wear the suits, and then like when shit got in trouble and they needed to evacuate,
they are the parachute.
They are the parachute. You know what I mean? So he was trying to like get clearing. I think he was French to test it by jumping off the Eiffel Tower, and they agreed if he used a dummy. But then at the last second, he was like, "Nope, I'm gonna do it." And then eyewitnesses said that as soon as he jumped off, he got tangled in the parachute, and it was like that was probably not a great idea. I definitely would have gone with the dummy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of funny that they agreed to that.
I mean, keep in mind, this was like black and white history. You know what I mean? This is when decisions were poorly made. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this conversation went like, "Hey," or it was in a French accent, but I'm too tired to do it right now. I would like to jump off the Eiffel Tower. And they were like, dummy. And he was like, okay. And like, you know what I mean? Like it probably didn't take that much effort
at the end of the day,
or logic at all.
At the end of the day, he was the dummy.
It's a smart way to wrap it up, though. Speaking of wrapping it up, it's time to wrap up this show.
Hell yeah.
It's time for Jam Yam. Who's starting off? Who's getting jiggy with it?
I'm wrapping the show up.
Me too.
Tape.
Gotta put the bow on it. Tie it up. No, it ties the bow. You just buy the one you stick on the box. Come on.
The sticky on it.
Nobody's talented enough for that shit.
So the name of my yam is a classic song.
Got you.
Came out from way back in the day. Called "Fall Down, Never Get Back Up Again" by La Dispute. Incredible song.
How do you spell that? Lattice?
Yeah, so it's L.A. Dispute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, La Dispute.
I heard like
La Fazendos.
No, and I was like, I thought it was like Lotta,
Oh,
but then I didn't know
no.
what Spuse was.
Okay,
So I was like, yeah.
They're very iconic band, very much. I to describe them, they're like you know, like that like screamo spoken word.
Okay, yeah.
That literally.
Got you.
Yeah, but like it's like a math rock song. So like
Okay.
it'll start like slower, and then like it works its way up.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Nice. My jam of the week is gonna be "You Are My High" by DJ Snake.
Woo.
Been hearing it a lot in like
I think I know that
TikToks,
song.
and I don't have TikTok, but like Instagram Reels where you watch
Instagram
TikToks on
TikToks.
Instagram, yeah. So I've been watching it a lot of those, and I feel like it's on like every 12th. It's like always used on like a very cool video because the crescendo of the song is very like epic. So it's
Mhm.
always like some guy doing a backflip or some shit like that. But you know, after you hear those songs after a while, you're like, all right, I should probably put that on the playlist. It's probably not too shabby. And sure enough, it's a vibe. So
Mhm.
that's jam of the week for episode 60.
60. We should do a song,
We should.
but like a joke one,
I'm down.
not like an actual
I'm
one.
like 100% down.
Like,
we were listening to DTF before this.
Yeah.
100% down. Lay
So,
some fish bars.
Yeah, maybe we could do like Halloween's coming up, but that's not enough time to write. So maybe like a Thanksgiving
It
one.
isn't enough time to write, but I thought of a really good idea for a Halloween sketch.
Yeah?
You want to hear it real quick before we end the
Okay.
show?
Yeah.
I've also been watching a lot of those like videos where they get like professionals to come in and like watch scenes from movies.
Mhm.
So I thought it'd be really funny to do a video of a serial killer who watches murder scenes from horror movies, but he's like there in the mask with the blood, and he's just like I wouldn't have done it that way.
He's mad professional.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. He's like, hey guys, my name's Jason. I've been
Yeah.
here 14 years.
Most people think that you want to use a 6-inch serrated blade, but that's actually not the case. More often than not, you actually go for the 8-inch. It's like stupid shit like that.
Very interesting that serrated blade would be the choice of the killing, because a serrated knife, like a bread knife, is not pointing at the top. It's braided on the side. So you would have to get one that is pointy.
Mhm.
That's very rare. There's only 5 shots. Like, mad specific. I love that idea. That's great.
Yeah.
There's a lot. You know that concept.
Oh yeah.
Like you
There's
could
so
just,
much you can do with that.
like
I started thinking of it. I started thinking of it too, and I was like, they could do like porn star review sex scenes and shit like that.
My favorite was poop expert reviews, like pooping scenes for movies. You know, where it's like they zoom in on the face, and he's like,
That's not an actual face.
That's not real poop strain. You can tell this guy's not actually
They go into
constipated.
the scientific thing. It's like when we release our bowels,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
make a natural curve that are below our eyes, and you can see that he's not doing that right there. And then he gets to like one real poop scene, and he's like, "Wow, that's really good.
This
It's
guy-
really impressive.
This guy's one of the best poopers I've ever
I would
seen.
not be surprised if he's actually pooping right there."
Yeah. Real method actor.
Sorry to get you all the way to the end of the episode and then end it with poop, but
Yeah.
you know that's how it be here. But thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe. And Dylan, do you know what the our little friends are commenting this week? Comment your favorite French territory.
Imagine. Imagine. No. I wanted to make it something French related. That's what I was thinking originally.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
happy you brought that up. But no, fuck that.
I mean, I have one.
Yeah.
Can I steal it from
Yeah.
you?
Go ahead. What do
I'm
you have?
actually curious to know if you could go anywhere in the world tomorrow just for a travel. Where would you go?
Mhm.
Because that little conversation brought back Bora Bora for me, and you know,
Where in the
apparently
world
I'm
is
on a
Carmen
time zone.
Sandiego?
I gotta get going
Yeah.
before Aquaman starts rapping over there.
I gotta fucking see that.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Holy
But
shit.
thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Go ahead, leave that comment. Get involved, and
Get involved. Get some teamwork.
You know.
Everyone participate.
be done.